Hi, my name is Tiwa, and today I wanted to talk to you all about racism in education. I think racism in education has really moved on from perhaps what happened to our parents' generation, which may have even included physical violence. I think in today's world, in today's Britain, people think they're not racist, and the reason they think this is because they don't engage in overt racism. But that doesn't mean they're not racist, it just means their racism has changed shape. I think in today's schools you see a lot of subtle racism, what people refer to as microaggressions. So this might be being confused for other black members of your class, or being labelled as aggressive, or having your name always mispronounced or misspelled. And I actually think this sort of racism is equally as damaging because it denigrates your self-esteem and it reinforces the fact that you're not welcome and you don't belong in your educational setting. So recently I've been doing some work to try and change this narrative, at least in private schools in the UK. Last month I authored an open letter discussing the experiences of black students in private schools and calling for measures for change. This was published in the Independent newspaper first of all, and went on to be featured in the Sunday Times, the Evening Standard, and on BBC and Sky News. We made key suggestions to help schools become anti-racist, and these included things like access to BAME counsellors, unconscious bias training, but most importantly that schools need to listen to their black students and act on their advice. These patterns of racism in education do not stop in school by any means. At Cambridge University, where I graduated a year ago, I also experienced a lot of racism. Sometimes I wasn't even allowed into my own campus because they didn't believe I was a student. I was confused repeatedly for other black students even that had left the university, and I also found that the content of my theology degree was overwhelmingly white, which does worry me as a Christian because it means that the people that are being trained for the ministry are not being trained to become anti-racist ministers and members of the clergy, which is actually very dangerous when they are responsible for bringing the word of God to the diverse population of the UK today. So I think there are many, many ways that we need to improve our educational setting in the United Kingdom, not just in independent schools, of course, in primary schools and secondary schools and universities all over the country. They need to actively commit to becoming anti-racist, to produce anti-racist adults. We can't afford for the future leaders of our country to be prejudiced. As we've seen, it's dangerous. It's literally a matter of life or death. So that's my take. Do check out my Instagram for more information, and let's keep this conversation alive. Thanks for listening.